Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's in the house, then we'll go from there. Mr. Leo Lustig, my man, thank you very much. And Crypto KJ and Andrew Masad, thanks for the birthday wishes. Today is my birthday, you're correct. Good to see you. Let's see, Black Hat Team, good morning. Dom G, Regilio, good to see you. Let's see, we have Kirk, Steven Cicero, good morning, sir. Hadi, good to see you as well. When is Chump Change gonna change his channel name to Chump Change Solar? You know what? I thought about it. I thought about adding it somewhere in the mix, but it's not in the cards right now. Jim C, what's up, man? Crypto Frank, good morning, sir. Good to see you, buddy. Perfect. Rude Puts, my man, happy Friday. All right, let's get into it. Everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. Bitcoin 58,366 bucks. Got Ethereum at 2369, looking great. Solana $134 over here, only down a little bit today. XRP 56 cents. Everything's kind of floating sideways. XRP is actually up 5%. Let's see, Near Protocols up to $4.20.
So is that a joint?
Perfect.
Love it. We have LTC 63.49. That's actually still a good buy, to be honest. Buying opportunity. Caspa 16.7, almost 17 cents. It was 17 cents yesterday, just briefly. If you guys don't know, again, KRC 20 tokens are launching this Sunday. This is the main net launch is happening. So if you guys are interested, there you go. Might have a pump in the price. Who knows? Could not. I don't know. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Don't listen to anything people on YouTube say. All right, that's how it goes. ETC $18.44. Let's see, ICP down here at $8.28. I don't know if anybody's into this. Let me know if you guys are. Quant, is that Quant? QNT? What is that? Let's see. $76. It is Quant. $76, 5.77% up on the day. Nothing else really jumping out at me. Let's see. FLZ, is this that one that was crazy yesterday? Down 6.35%. Yeah, it is, fellas. Down 6.35%, but this shit rose like 40% yesterday. I don't know what this coin is. I have no idea. I still haven't looked into it. I don't plan on looking into it, but if anybody knows what it is, please let me know in the chat. Look at this. Is this Polygon? Maybe 41 cents. Is Polygon? It is Polygon ecosystem token. What in the hell? Why'd they add all that shit? Polygon. Anyways, it is 41 cents. Interesting. Actually, if you guys don't know, you might have got an email from Coinbase about Render. Apparently they're merging or splitting or doing something freaking weird, so you guys have to like convert your tokens or some shit. I guess it's a legit email. If everybody got the email, please let me know. Obviously always check the sender from these type of emails and stuff, but I just personally sold all my Render, so I didn't have to deal with any of it, and once they figure out their shit, then I'll buy back in. So that's my plan, just letting you guys know if anybody is into has Coinbase or has Render or whatever. So just pay attention to that. Speaking of Render, it's down 2.3% today, probably because people are selling it to not have to deal with the bullshit. Just kind of funny. What is the biggest earner of the day? Seems to be Polygon over here. Again, 41 cents, ranked 28th at a $2.89 billion market cap. We got WorldCoin at up 5.9% at $1.50. Not too bad. Dogecoin's up 4.5% today to 10 cents. At least it's above 10 cents. That's nice. Yeah, man, nothing else really jumping out at me. Ave's down today, 4.9. Anybody cares? HNT's down today, 2.7% to $7.72. You know what? You kind of got to give it to HNT because they've like I'm shocked that the price has actually came back and been holding, and it's not really that bad considering how much hate I had for it before. It's still in the top 100. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. HNT is not for me at the end of the day, but it's just, I don't know. It's usually green when everything else is red. That's what I've noticed anyways. LTC again down 3.1%. All right, Flashbang Fear and Greed Index today is at a 32 in the fear. Again, this is what we want. We want a slow climb up to where we need to be, right? To the neutral territory. It's basically where you want to be. September's usually a down month, but things will go up from here, right? Crypto Bedell, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Leo Lustig, I already said hello to you. Let me see. Offshore Miner, what's up, dude? Crypto for seniors. I gotta send you some stickers, by the way. I got yours. It's awesome. I love this sticker. I never noticed that you had Bitcoins in the eyes until that flag you sent me, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. CoinGecko, top 10 coins over here by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Toncoin still in 10th place at a $14 billion market cap.
Perfect.
We have Tron over here at 11th place actually and $13 billion market cap, and Cardano is actually in 12th place still at a 12.7. Cardano I think is severely undervalued. That's just my opinion. I hope it goes far. Again, I try to invest in coins that are about 80% or more down. Cardano's one of them, Litecoin's one of them, Near Protocol is one of them. Caspa, I'm big and heavy into this one because of the fact that it's never seen a bull run and it's in the top 30 coins. It's kind of hard to ignore, you know what I mean? So I have high hopes for that one. Let's see, Ethereum Classics, another one 80% down that I'm going to be I hold a bag of for sure. Actually, I'm not mining it right now, but I need to get back on mining that. And then Render I really do want to purchase, but yeah, that Coinbase email that really aggravated me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get out until they figure out their shit. I don't even know what it was really about. You know, I've actually, Crypto KJ, if you could find me that link, if you could grab it out of Discord and throw it in the chat for me, I'll open it up and look at it. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. I have a few things I want to watch today, so we're kind of gonna speed through this. Dragon Ball miner A11, the Radiant miner, 3.2 terahashes at 2300 watts, making $124 a day, almost 125. I really wonder how long this is gonna last. I don't know, how is Radiant doing actually? I haven't looked at that price in a minute. Radiant's one of the coins I've never held. Is it RXD or XRD? RXD. All right, there we go. Up 6.3% today. It is a tenth of a penny, tenth and a half of a penny. I wonder if it's gonna hold up. Let's see, what's the max chart look like actually? So Radiant's never broken a penny. It's all-time high, almost a penny. It's 82% down. You know what? I said I'm into coins that are 80% down or more, and this might be a good one. I don't know about buying the miners. I don't recommend that. I would just buy the coin. It's so cheap. Damn, I wish I could swap this in freaking Tangem. I know you can hold it in your Tangem wallet though. So if you guys are interested in a hardware wallet for Radiant, check out the link in the pinned live chat. I do get 10% off a code CCXD, but Tangem's my favorite wallet by far. It's just so convenient. Antminer A11, sorry, AL1 Pro. We have the 16.6 terahash unit over here, making $117 a day. This thing has been taking, Lithium's been taking a beating because the network hash rate's just been going crazy. Sorry, flashbang. Let's see, 9.65. So this thing was under 9 yesterday for the actual hash rate here. It just continues to grow. It's just gonna get worse. It's honestly just gonna get worse. I'm really hoping that Lithium can hold up though, because if it can't hold up, then it's kind of, I don't know. Crypto for Seniors, dude, thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate you. He said, hope you have an amazing day. Thank you very much. I will try. I'll do my best. All right, Bitmain Antminer AL1, 15.6 terahash unit, making $110 a day. We got the Gold Shell E-AL1M, 4.4 terahashes over here, making $29 a day. The Dragon Ball A40, 3.3 terahash unit, is making $21 a day. Let's see, just kind of scrolling. You know, dude, look at this, the KS5 Pro Caspa miner, $20 a day even, 21 terahashes, 21 terahashes.
Bruh.
If you like Caspa, just buy the coin. Please stop buying these machines. It's not helping. It's not helping. I just don't see you getting paid back. I don't even know how much this thing is, KS5 Pro. I don't. If anybody knows, please let me know. Let me see. Thank you very much, Crypto KJ, for putting that in the chat. All right, this is bright as shit. So flashbang. Apologize. All right, this is what I was talking about. Central Exchange render to render upgrades. It's RNDR to render upgrades. Exchange is upgrading RNDR to render for users with the ongoing upgrade, the RNDR ETH to render Solana. Oh, that's what it is. So they're switching to Solana. As voted by the community, RNP. Exchanges are announcing their plans to upgrade. Interesting. You know what? That's actually kind of nice. Kraken will be migrating RNDR from the Ethereum blockchain to render on the Solana blockchain. Kraken will subsequently delist RNDR and list render. RNDR tokens will be converted to render tokens at a 1-to-1 ratio. But Coinbase, I'm pretty positive, Yeah, they did not upgrade users, which I'm assuming means they're not going to swap your shit like Kraken will. So sell out, or you might have to swap it yourself. I think you have to put it in your own wallet and then swap it. I don't know. I just sold it. I'll just buy back in later, but that's kind of cool. That means the fees will be cheaper to trade Solana. I mean, render. So that's cool. That works. All right, nice. Totally forgot what that email was about, but thank you. Appreciate it. Not James. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Mr. Crypto KJ, again, thank you so much. All right, let me let's see. We got the Bitmain Antminer L9 over here, 16 gigahashes, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and actually Bell's miner as well. You can triple mine with this thing. I think it adds a few bucks to it, or a little bit to the price here that you're making, but 16 to 38 a day. This is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. This is the profit after you pay that 10 cents. Ice River RX0, this is another Radiant miner. You know what, I'm actually kind of hoping that Ice River sends me this thing so I can check it out, because I never had any Radiant, never once. 260 gigahashes at 100 watts. This one is actually kind of nice, and it was actually pretty cheap. Let me see, I forget, what was it? Actually, the tab's right here. $3.99. That's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. It makes 10 bucks a day, but how long is it gonna last? That's the only thing, right? So I mean, to be honest, you could just take 400 bucks and throw it into Radiant and hope it has a pump, unless you really need like a small heater for your office or something, you know, that you have access to Ethernet and you can just plug it in. I mean, that'd be cool, right? So $10 a day is not that bad, honestly. It's really not. The AL Box 2 Plus, I am dropping a video today, actually, at 8 a.m. So, or 8:15 a.m., something like that. Right after this stream, the video's dropping for the AL Box 2. They wanted me to hold it until next week, and then today they dropped the price. So what the is happening? Gold shell, make me look like an asshole in the video. So anyways, whatever, I'm dropping it today. I don't care, but the price dropped on these things. Apparently it's like 1,600 bucks now, but for $6.48 a day at the 1 terahash, 480 watts, I don't know if it's a good deal. I don't know if it is, but the price is actually, if you compare the two, I did it at the end of the video, it's really not that bad. It's just way less efficient, right, compared to like Ice River. So you guys can let me know what you think about that video down in the comments below after the fact. We have the L7. You guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. If you want to pay 10 cents per kilowatt hour instead of a normal electric rate like my 30 cents, I can't run this unit here. So 9050 for gigahashes. We have the 3,425 watts. Again, this is a Dogecoin and Litecoin. You can mine bells as well. Probably add a couple bucks, but $5.61. This miner has been profitable the entire bear market. So I love the L7. Gold Shell AL Box 2, 720 gigahashes, 360 watts, $4.63 a day. I got that thing running the solar trailer as well. The Gold Shell AL Box, the original AL Box, I do not have this unit, but 360 gigahashes at 180 watts, $2.31 a day. I really hope Lithium has a nice pump. I really do. What's the price today? Oh, look at that. 6.6% up today. Nice. Perfect. $1.71. It's not enough. We need a bigger pump. We need a much bigger pump than that, but we'll take it. 6%, right? Keep getting 6%. Adds up to something, doesn't it? All right, scrolling down a bit. Ice River KS0 Pro. Look at this. We're still at the 2 cent a day, 200 gigahashes at 100 watts. The KS0 original is negative 2 cents a day. Bruh. That's terrible. Terrible. All set said I hit a Doge solo block this morning, but did not hit the LTC side. Dude, what? You hit a solo block on Dogecoin? That's like 10,000 Doge. Hadouken to you, bro. What do you mean? Perfect. About 1K USD. Dude, that's sick. All set. I don't know about you, man, but I'd have a boner all day. Just being honest. That's sick, dude. Good for you. That's like 10,000 Doge. That's amazing. All right, let's see. We have GPUs over here. Getting into this. Look at Pyron. Oh, Pyron went through a fork or something, didn't they? Didn't they just fork something? Actually, I'm pretty positive they did. Pyron's top of the charts all the way across the board, literally for almost every card. Carlson and Pyron to some extent too. How's Carlson doing? Jeez. You know what? Shout out to Big Time Mining over in Discord, because he posts in that trading chat all the time and he always tags me and I never have time to like look at the charts really. What am I doing? Pyron, let's see. Pyron is down 6.3% today. It's a penny and a half, just about. What was the other one? Carlson is up 1.4% today to a tenth and a half of a penny. Interesting. You guys must be able to get some decent yield off this. Not too bad. So 40.90 is making about $2 a day mining Pyron. Carlson and Pyron, if you're dual mining, you get $2.11. $1.05 profit. Interesting. Oh, this must use a lot more power because you get $1.17 if you just solely mine Pyron. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, these coins aren't holds for me. I always mined them and sold them, but all my GPUs are off right now, so full transparency there. BlockX and Pyron still top of the charts for some cards. Yeah, that's it, guys. Really, that's your choice today. And Xano's there too. Again, a lithium hash rate flashbang. Sorry, 9.65 petahashes over here, or 9.53 now. All right, again, anybody just joining, mainnet launch KRC20 is this Sunday, so I don't know if we should be expecting some sort of pump or not, but just giving you guys a heads up. KRC20 is basically a platform where people can create coins on the Caspa network, right? So it'll be nice, I think personally, if a lot more coins come out. These KS zeros might be able to mine other things, like you can mine already Bugna and Cedra, right, with these KS zeros and all these Caspa miners. It'll be nice to have some other coins to jump to, kind of like we did in the Ethereum days, right? Getting over to like Octaspace and all those other Ethereum based coins that we can mine on our machines. It's just nice to have that like kind of out to make these machines not as useless as they're going to be with Caspa, right, directly. So is what it is, and it'll help spread out the hash rate. That's really the biggest thing here, to be honest, at least in my opinion. All right, let's move on to the news segment of things. Market Navigator trading gold to the upside. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. I bumped this up to 1.2 on all of these channels, so let's do it.
In today's Market Navigator, we're focusing on gold futures and the bullish case for this commodity, which continues to make new highs. Phil Strebel is chief market strategist at Blue Line Futures. And Phil, gold's run, which is up 25% this year, has caught many people's attention who are now wondering, a la Nvidia a year ago, is it too late to get in?
Oh, I don't believe so at all. I think that gold futures, being one of the best performing commodity classes this year, it's got strong central bank buying, and we expect this trend to continue. It's a great hedge against geopolitical risks. These occur unexpectedly, and the net speculative fund buying is back near 4-year highs. So any correction we get should be shallow in nature as more participants come into the market. The current economic environment is ideal for owning an asset class like gold. The economy, we have a soft landing. There's no apparent signs of recession. Inflation is trending towards the Fed's 2% target. Growth's declining, but not crashing. And Jerome Powell said that time has come for the Fed to adjust policy. So gold is the asset class you want to own.
Is there any risk that retail investors start piling in right at the moment that central banks purchasing declines? We know that's been a huge source of demand for gold really over the past couple of years.
That's a good point. Sorry, I'm just reading Crypto KJ's thing in the chat. He said KRC20 tokens / NFTs on Caspa, not another coin. I don't think anything will be mining. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. It might be no mineable coins, right? But at the end of the day, it's we're gonna get more rewards for the transaction fees, right, or the mining fees. The transaction fees for the miners. That's basically what we'll be getting. It'll help us all around, more or less.
That has happened, and China's taken a step back on some of their central bank purchases, but they tend to, revamp and repurchase again. We think that central banks broadly are going to continue to divest themselves from other currencies and focus on hard assets, building those reserves. So we think that this is more of a longer-term trend that'll take place.
What is the trading range that you foresee? If you wanted to get really super specific and tactical about this, how exactly would you play it?
Okay, so if you look at since 1980, historically, gold futures have rallied 6% on average within the first 30 days of an interest rate cut after the Fed has transitioned from a hiking cycle to a cutting cycle. Secondly, we do have seasonal strength where 13 out of the last 15 years, gold futures have rallied from September 30th on up to October 25th. we really believe that any kind of pullback in the gold market should be shallow. So we're looking at purchasing at 25.40 an ounce. The stop loss would just be below the 50-day moving average at 24.90, and then we would target 27.50 by the year end. So we prefer to have a stop loss right at the 50-day moving average, just to simplify things, which is a $60 range, and it's 2 times the average true range for volatility purposes.
All right, so you think, again, the downside, you kind of keep that tight, maybe hope for more upside as you continue to ride this out into year end. Phil, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time today.
Interesting. All right, moving on to NVIDIA still has legs and room to run, says Bernstein's Stacy Raskin. I think that's his name. I don't know.
This industry is going to be producing intelligence, and what it takes is energy and, of course, a lot of great computer science and large computing systems that NVIDIA makes. And so we've got to make sure that everybody understands the needs coming, the opportunities of it, the challenges of it, and do it in the most efficient and scalable way we can.
Well, that, of course, was NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang speaking to CNBC outside the White House today. He was there for a meeting about the outlook for AI and how to meet the energy demand needed to power that industry. NVIDIA shares making a huge comeback this week. And top chip analyst Bernstein's Stacy Raskin says it remains one of the best names in the industry. Joins me now. It's good to see you again. So we heard a lot from Jensen this week, whether it was in the leather jacket or the business suit. What was your biggest takeaway from either Communicopia out here where we were in San Francisco or from what he said outside the White House today?
Yeah, look, I think he's right. You know, like you're right. The stock has been through the ringer, up and down and sideways over the last few weeks. There have been concerns about Blackwell, their next generation platform, the Blackwell delays and sustainability of demand and everything else. And look, at this point, from everything that we can see, you know, the demand remains off the charts, right? I mean, it seems like their customers just still cannot get enough of what it is that they're delivering. And I think he's right. I think as we go forward, like you can never have too much compute, and they are, you know, they're the ones that are supplying the most of it at this point. I think the concerns around Blackwell delays, which was from a few weeks ago, those have sort of proven to be mostly a nothing burger. They've got a good amount of that, billions of dollars of Blackwell revenue ramping in Q4. We'll have all of next year to ramp that platform as well. I still think this one has legs. I still think it has room to run.
You know, he described the demand that they're seeing when he was on stage yesterday with David Solomon as still being great. He also talked about, Stacey, I think something more powerful, and that's the idea of this installed base that they have, whether it's through gaming or supercomputing, the likes of which we always talk about relative to Apple, but not so much as it relates to NVIDIA. The implication being that it doesn't even matter really about some of the competitors who are out there because the customers of NVIDIA are just going to keep coming back only for updated chips that they produce throughout the years.
Real quick, all set, dude. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, man. Keep them profits for yourself. I appreciate you for gifting the 5 memberships, though. You're awesome. Fiddler got one. I need my BTC. Gene got one. We have Daddy Chill and Joker Miner. God damn it. You gave one to him. Just kidding. Congrats, guys, for being members. Make sure you link your YouTube with Discord and you get access to the VIP chat. Thank you again, all set. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so this gets into the concept of what's known as the ecosystem. So it's an issue. Like a lot of their competitors, like the pitch is, you know, we have a chip that's better than NVIDIA, which by the way is always open for debate. But even if it were true, it's probably not enough. It's not just about the chip. It's the chip and it's the software and it's the hardware and it's the systems engineering and everything that goes around it that makes it very, very easy to just buy their NVIDIA stuff and adopt it and install it. And it's up. You can be up and running in days without having to monkey around with anything else. Many of their other competitors' stuff, you can buy it and you try to install it, and it may be months before you're up and running with it. We've even seen evidence of this. You know, AMD now they've recently just bought ZT Systems. That was to gain the systems expertise that NVIDIA themselves has sort of built up organically. AMD's been doing. They bought other acquisitions and other things. They're trying to assemble some of those capabilities. It's on the software side and everything else that they have been less successful at building up internally because they just don't have the scale. But it is clearly it's clearly about the silicon, but it's much more than just the silicon. It is everything that goes around it that makes it easy to adopt. And then once you're adopted and once you're established, then you really do have that installed base a tailwind. Once your customers are using your parts, they're used to programming on your parts. It makes it much easier just to keep doing that.
Makes sense. Real quick, Andrew Masad, thanks for the $10 super chat, man. Happy birthday to Chump Change. So welcome to the Old Man's Club. Listen, you guys don't have to donate. Just hit the like button. That's all I ask for. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. You're awesome.
The super bullish investors would suggest then the implication is that they actually have a moat. That this is not simply you've said that for sure. But more broadly, this is not just a first mover advantage. It's
holy shit. All right, I had to bring this up again. Thank you very much, Andrew Rasad, for that. Nervos Network, dude, CKB, what in the hell? 59.6%. What happened? What is going on? Look at these boner candles. Do they have some news I didn't hear about? Thank you, Crypto KJ, for throwing this in the chat. 69% down from its all-time high, but it just jumped up a decent amount. What in the hell? What's going on here? Jesus, look at that jump. That's nuts. Move to decimal point. Nice. If anybody's into CKB, there you go. Let me know if you guys find any news about that.
It's actually something more powerful and durable.
Yeah, I mean, it always starts with the first mover advantage, but you have to remember, like, let's just take a look at the software. It's called CUDA. And CUDA is a variety of different things, by the way, but they started building CUDA over 15 years ago. I mean, that's a massive first mover advantage, right? You've got lots of other players now that are just getting started now. And even if you've been trying to build out your software and ecosystem from a competing standpoint for, 2, 3, 4 years, NVIDIA still have a decade head start on you in that case. And again, once ecosystems get established, they're really, really difficult to crack. Even like one of the other well-known ones is what they call the Wintel ecosystem. This is, x86 and Windows in PCs. And it's just sort of barely starting to crack now, but it's been around for decades. Once these things get established, they become very, very powerful.
Real quick in the chat, Mr. Hoodsta Boogie said, I got this smart PDU with 4 prongs and I thought it was 3-prong. So I'm trying to work around it. 4 prongs. I'm trying to think. Like a dryer outlet? Like that? Like they usually have 3. How many amps? You got to make sure you like please don't blow yourself up. please be careful, because that could be dangerous. If you want, send me some images in Discord and I can try to help you figure it out. All right, mortgage refinancing boom is already happening. Let's see what they got to say again over here on CNBC television. Let's do it.
An expected rate cut on the way and mortgage rates hitting their lowest level since February of last year. Could we see a boom in refinancings? Joining us now is Matt Ishby, CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage. He is also an owner of the Phoenix Suns. And Matt, it's great to have you back on Overtime. Welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me.
So that's exactly where I'm going to start, because we have seen Treasury yields and with them mortgage rates falling. We're at a 19-month low for mortgage rates, and the Fed hasn't even begun to cut yet. So how are you preparing for the possibility of a reemergence in not only refis, but also interest in taking out mortgage loans if we do start to see a housing rebound here?
Yeah, no.
So yeah, most of those PDUs are twist locks, but having 4 prongs, it's typically 3. The only thing I could think of is there's just a neutral wire in there, but I don't know what plug you'd use. It's kind of weird.
It's really interesting. Rates are really low right now, and
actually, is it a 3-phase PDU? Maybe that could be the case. I don't know. That might be the case if that's a thing. I think they make them, but I don't know.
People are waiting for the Fed to cut rates next week. We all anticipate they'll cut 25 basis points, but the mortgage rates are already lower. Right? People are waiting. Oh, it's going to happen. It already happened. The refi boom is happening right now. People aren't really available and realizing, but people are doing refinances right now. Anyone that bought a house in 2022, 23, 24 should be refinancing. Rates are 30-year fixed in the 5s, not 6 and 7 or 8. And so people got to.
Yeah, that's a high rate. If you have a 6, 7, or an 8, Jesus, definitely refinance. Miss Pocket Change, thank you. That's my lovely wife. Membership for 10 months. I told her to stop paying YouTube a while ago, but she keeps getting gifted memberships. Happy birthday, the most amazing man. We love you. Me and your 100K subs. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, hon.
Go to mortgagematchup.com, find the right originator. But the truth is, it's happening right now. You don't have to wait for the Fed. It's really exciting, and we're seeing a big boom already here at UWM.
That said, how do you expect that trajectory to play out now as you do have a Fed that's moving into an easing cycle?
Yeah, I think it's going to continue. So it's not only refinances, but also purchases, right? Because now more purchasing power. Someone buying a $400,000 house yesterday couldn't afford it, but now they can afford it because interest rate's 5.75 instead of 7, right? So more homeowner demand, more opportunity. So we're seeing it on purchase, refi, and it's going to continue. We really look at 25 is going to be an amazing year in the mortgage industry. It's already a great year, 24, but it's going to get even better next year. And we've been waiting. We've been prepared at UWM, and we're excited about it, and it's already happening. And you'll see it in our third quarter results, but more likely fourth quarter and next year.
Matt, is there a magic
56? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, dude, and a bunch of ramen noodles. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
number on rates where the homeowner is likely to feel more comfortable tapping into the equity to make purchases?
Yeah, I really think that the number is in the 5s when we're there. Like I said for probably a year and a half, 2 years, like when it gets to 5.99, 5.75, you're going to see demand on refinances. Anything in the 5s is like amazing rates if you look over the span. Obviously, you got to take out 20 and 21 where the rates were 2.75 and 3%. But beyond those 2 years, anything in the 5s is fantastic. And so we're there now. And the Fed's going to drop rates even more. Will that mean more mortgage rates go down even further? Maybe. But 30-year fixed in the 5s is a great deal. People are taking advantage of rate and term. But also, to your point, cash out. Equity in housing is as big as it's been in a long long, long time. People have equity, and so cashing out, it's been hard to get off those 3% rates, but now at 5.5 or 5.75 and being able to pay off some heavy debt from credit cards, we're seeing a lot of people do that right now. So opportunities out there right now, and we're taking advantage of it, and I think consumers are as well.
I'm glad you went there because U.S. homeowners are sitting on $32 trillion in home equity right now. That is a new record. And we talk about depleted savings, and we talk about cash-strapped consumers that are tightening their belts. But as you do start to see rates come down, does this become another lever that consumers can pull on for more spending?
Absolutely is another lever for them, right? It's their money. If someone has a $400,000 house and their mortgage is $300,000, there's $100,000 in equity. Now, how do you tap that, right? Once again, you got to find the right place. Sometimes your servicer's not the right place. You got to go to a mortgage matchup or find a local lender that can actually help you with that and actually get you that equity. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 at a rate. And if you look at it and do the math, like some people talk about their mortgage interest rate rather than their actual housing rate. Because if you think about their housing rate and then also their credit card debt and their auto loans, interest rates all blended, it might be 7 or 8%. So getting them down to 5.5, 5.75 on a cash out refinance is becoming very popular right now, beyond just the regular rate and term refinance, lowering your payment.
Okay. And we mentioned, you're the owner of the NBA's Phoenix Suns. You also own the WNBA's Mercury. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask you a question on a day like today where CNBC has reported on the Milwaukee Bucks in a deal, a stake that values that team at $4 billion. That's up from $3.2 billion last year. Your thoughts on sports teams' valuations? Do they continue to climb? Is there a point at which we start to see this peak out?
Yeah, it's great. I think, I don't focus too much on valuation. I focus on how to make the fan experience great. How do I do great things for the league, the WNBA, the NBA? But Adam Silver and the NBA has done an amazing job. Valuations are going up because there's a supply and demand. There's only 30 NBA teams. And the truth is, with the new TV deal that Adam Silver did an amazing job putting together, it's going to make a big impact on valuations. But valuations, I want to focus on winning. How do we win a championship with the Suns or the Mercury? And so that's what I focus on more than valuations. Valuations are for finance people. I'm much more of a fan, and I enjoy the game too much to focus on that. But they definitely are going up, to answer your question.
Is hockey going to come to Arizona?
Oh, I hope so. It's a 4-sport town, so hopefully we'll get it back at one point.
Interesting. All right, I was looking up the that plug for you, Woods to Boogie. So you need, it is a single phase PDU, so you don't have to worry about that. NEMA L630P, and also if you guys are ever stuck on something, dude, ChatGPT works so great. You could just ask it, right? I said find the specs in chat where it's P5, whatever his switch was, and it gives you everything you need to know. And then I said, is it 3-phase PDU? It says no, it's single phase. I said, what does the plug look like? And then it tells you exactly what you need to know. And then I just searched it. But yeah, there is a 4-prong. You just have to order the right one, so you know. All right, there you go. That's my helping of the day. All right, eToro reaches $1.5 million settlement with the SEC. They never freaking quit, do they? Let's do it.
Today, eToro plans to remove some crypto tokens from its trading platform for U.S. customers as part of a settlement with the SEC. The CFTC partners with other agencies to warn against a romance crypto scam, which is gaining traction. And Kraken's Tomas Perfumo weighs in on what's driving crypto prices right now.
Yeah, I need my BTC. That's actually true, too. He said, I'll have to put a meter on it, but he said you might be able to wire it with 3 wires, and you still have to have, the 4-prong twist lock to connect it, obviously. So you just would probably leave one blank. I assume it's just an extra neutral wire. Like if you have a 10-3, right, it has 4 wires instead of 3. That's probably what it is. So you could probably just leave out the neutral, but it depends how the PDU works.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Lindsay Jacobson. Bitcoin in the green this morning, jumping above $58,000 around 10:30, influenced by a rally in U.S. tech stocks. As of around noon Eastern, Bitcoin dropped to the $57,000 level, but was still about 1.5% higher than the 24 hours before. Ether traded flat, and Ripple's XRP token jumped more than 5.5% after Grayscale announced the launch of a new trust that gives accredited investors direct exposure to the cryptocurrency. According to Standard Chartered, Bitcoin is likely to reach at least one more all-time high by the end of the year, regardless of who wins the election in November. That's a contrast from other financial institutions like Bernstein, who view the election as make or break for the crypto industry, given the candidates' differing positions on crypto. In recent months, former President Donald Trump has taken a pro-crypto platform, while Vice President Kamala Harris has yet to declare her views on digital assets publicly. In a note today, Standard Chartered's Jeff Kendrick said while each outcome would certainly have different impacts on the crypto industry, the risks of a Harris presidency may be exaggerated. He argues Bitcoin as an investment should continue to do well regardless of who's in office. He forecasted that Bitcoin will end 2024 at the $125,000 level if Trump wins, or $75,000 if Harris wins, which would both surpass Bitcoin's current all-time high above $73,000 reached back in March.
All right, so you guys choose 125K or you want 75K for Bitcoin?
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Trading platform eToro reached a $1.5 million settlement with the SEC. As part of the settlement announced this morning, eToro will end trading activity for most assets for U.S. customers. eToro says this limits U.S. offerings to just Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ether. Customers can no longer buy tokens outside of these three and have until March to close positions no longer supported by the platform before they get liquidated. The trading platform also said it would consider offering other crypto assets in the future that meet a regulatory framework, expressing optimism for regulatory clarity in the U.S. in the near future. eToro was facing charges tied to its crypto business, with the SEC alleging the platform operated an unregistered broker and clearing agency. Next, the CFTC is stepping up its fight against a romance crypto scam known as pig butchering. Yesterday, the CFTC's Office of Customer Outreach and Education announced partnerships with the American Bankers Association Foundation and other federal agencies, including the SEC.
I can't say it enough how much you guys need to pay attention. And like, I understand people get lonely and all this shit, but please make sure you're talking to a real person before you invest anything. Like, again, I've had somebody really close to me, too close to me, get scammed by somebody like this that they talked to for months before the person even mentioned anything with investing, and he got literally stripped of like $250,000. It is so goddamn sad. I can't even explain it. But if he just said, if he told me about it before it happened, I would have stopped it. It just, you guys, please pay attention and don't be stupid.
Goal to educate people in an effort to prevent them from falling victim to these investment scams. Pig butchering, of course, got its name from how scammers fatten up their victims through flattery in an effort to gain trust.
Again, he talked to this person, this girl, for like 3 months before it even happened. Okay, and I hate to break it to you, but it probably wasn't a girl on the other side.
The group released this information, outlining the scam's different phases and what people should look out for, noting that scammers typically target people through texts, dating sites, and professional networking platforms, to name a few.
I think they met through like a Facebook thing. I don't have Facebook. I don't know how it works, but I think there's like a Facebook, like, I don't know, dating thing. Is there? Is that I don't know what it's called. If it has a word or something, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he met through something like that, one of those dating apps, and it was just like chatting for months, and then who knows.
They also offered tips on how people can protect themselves, including recognizing that video chats and online trading platforms that appear legitimate can be fake.
So that's what happened. So it was an online. All right. So he talked to this person. This person, after like 3 months of just chatting of whatever, right? They ended up. She mentioned that she was investing on this trading platform, this site, blah, blah, blah. And it was like with leverage, and she keeps hitting all these trades and showed like profit and losses and all this shit. And basically was telling him what to do. So he sent money to this fake exchange, which wasn't real, right? The exchange shows a balance of the money coming in because they obviously manipulate it. And then it allows them to put in he put in a trade, which wasn't real. Right. And then it shows all this money coming in, and, you know, your value's going up and all this stuff, and you get excited about it, but you get freaking, like, at the end of the day, you can't get the money out. They'll never give it back to you. So what happened was, when he tried to withdraw some of the money, they were like, you need to pay taxes before you could take this out, which doesn't make any goddamn sense, because the tax man comes at the end of the year. Tax man doesn't come in the middle of the year. Never once will he do that. Right. So having to pay taxes before you get your money out makes 0 sense. So he literally sent 40 grand in tax money and still couldn't get his money out, because it was all a scam. Literally about $250,000 gone. Insane. And I'm not talking about profits. I'm talking about how much he invested, because he took out stock money to put it in there. It's just a shame. It sucks. Dan R, thanks for being a member for 16 months, dude. Boom shakalaka. Happy day. And check crypto donations. Oh, dude, thank you so much. You don't have to do that. Let me see. All track, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Happy birthday, Solar XT.
Latest mid-year
Thank
crime
you.
update from Chain Analysis shows that pig butchering is the largest revenue-generating crypto scam type so far this year. And the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center found losses tied to crypto-related investment scams, including pig butchering, accounted for the vast majority of the roughly $4.5 billion in funds stolen in all investment scams last year, totaling just under $4 billion. All right, back to
Dan R, listen, I love you. No homo. You just sent me 2 Solana, dude. You're insane. You're insane. Thank you so much. Like, I don't even know. I'm not gonna put it on the table, but you know what DJ would do. He just, just pulled it out, slapped it on the table. I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for the birthday gift. You did not have to do that. You're awesome, dude. You're awesome.
to markets for our main story. Crypto World's Tanea Michiel spoke with Tomas Perfumo, Kraken's head of strategy, about the state of Bitcoin right now and how much sway the outcome of the U.S. presidential election could have on prices.
I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. You know what I mean? 56. By the way, his kid wore a friggin' shirt to school like that and got detention the first week.
All right, Tomas, it's so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us again today. It kind of feels like not that much has changed on the surface in the crypto market since the last time we spoke. We're midway almost through September, so we're dealing with some seasonality, but Bitcoin's still pretty stuck in the same range that it's been stuck in this year. And without a clear catalyst, pretty correlated to stocks right now. And of course, everybody focusing on the election. What do you make of things so far this month?
Yeah. Crypto KJ, thanks for being a member for 16 months, dude. Let's see. a lot of 16-month membershipery. Happy birthday, you old fart. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Chump James. Congrats on the silver play button. Actually, you know what? Freaking best gift ever. That thing's supposed to be coming today. If it comes today, I'll go live later tonight. But if it doesn't, I think it's going to come tomorrow. It says it's supposed to be here today, though, between like 11 and 3 p.m. So we'll see. But again, thank you so much. And Dan, dude, I don't even know. I need to meet you someday. We need to go have a beer together. You're awesome, dude.
I think when we discussed last time, really
the beer's on me.
Near-term catalysts haven't really changed. It's going to be things like the macroeconomic environment. And of course, this September meeting for the Fed is the spotlight in terms of what we're going to see going forward. When it comes to other catalysts, the U.S. election is a big one that's not coming for another couple months here. And then thirdly, just growth, ongoing growth in the exchange-traded product side, where we've seen a little bit of bumps since July in terms of total cumulative net inflows into the products, but they're still very strong. And so I think those three haven't really changed too dramatically, but in the coming weeks and months is where you're going to see some price action.
Let's get into the election as a catalyst, because, since the dust is still kind of settling on the debate the other night, it seems to me like there's been a little bit of a shift here. Trump came out earlier this summer and made these kind of big pro-crypto overtures, and the market really hit a wave there. I got very excited about it. And it seems like since then, from a sentiment perspective, the sentiment has become a little bit more partisan in crypto for a group that is constantly saying that it's a nonpartisan industry. Where are we with the election as a catalyst? We've seen Wall Street with some interesting calls lately, kind of showing this huge difference. If Trump wins, there's going to be a huge rally. If Harris wins, there's going to be a huge pullback. What do you make of this? And do you think that we are still in that same place now with Kamala Harris as the candidate versus when the issue was a potential second Biden presidency?
Sure.
That's crazy. I'm glad they're talking about this, but I wonder how it's really going to sway votes. Crypto Frank said, happy birthday. With age comes knowledge. Sadly, knowledge is the fact that you know how many times you effed up in life. Thank you, Crypto Frank, for being a member for 15 months. And then Shay Mining, thank you for the 25, Ron. Happy birthday. Appreciate you, dude. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Was he muted? I don't think he was. I heard it. It was probably really quiet, to be honest, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Sure. So I personally think that crypto remains a bipartisan issue. And what we've seen is, of course, with all the commotion, what I think is a little bit of a loud minority of people who are really campaigning on this idea that one candidate is going to be much better than the other. The reality is, when you think about demographics, this election and elections going forward.
You can kind of hear him, right? Yeah, he's just really quiet. I have it turned down because we usually watch his stuff. But dude, Crypto for Seniors, thank you so much. $25 super chat. First round of drinks on me. Absolutely. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate
it continues to skew towards that younger generation that has a very positive outlook on crypto. And so this is no longer an issue like you saw in prior elections that you can just ignore and get away with it. So we're going to see crypto continuing to be a proactive discussion point in elections going forward. And from my perspective, what's exciting about this election in particular is that crypto is a loud issue. It's something that's being discussed in the agenda of these different candidates. But importantly, the solution here is, again, going to be legislative clarity. And we've already seen a lot of green shoots over the course of this year that we might get that in the US. And you've even seen comments from both sides as recently as August at the idea that, or the prospect that we might actually see legislation passed by end of year. And so I personally think when you think about crypto as an issue, it's still a very bipartisan issue. A lot of people around the country in a bipartisan way own crypto. And ultimately speaking, in the medium term, I think crypto wins. It's just a technology on fundamentals around money and whatnot, not a political statement.
So what about the rest of the crypto industry? It seems like there is a little bit of disillusionment in the space, kind of like the success of the Bitcoin ETFs have been isolated. Bitcoin, it's been stagnant, or rather it's been drifting in this tight range, but it's still holding on to a pretty solid year-to-date gain. The rest of the crypto market is not really looking the same. And, I talk to people a lot about how we're just not seeing very obvious use cases for the technology start to emerge like we have seen in previous bull cycles. And we're not seeing that sort of everything rally follow Ethereum, which follows Bitcoin after Bitcoin hit its all-time high this year. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, I personally think, the market cycles play out very differently. So we've always historically had this kind of market cycle built on the Bitcoin halving. And then we have add-ons to that fire up perhaps a new market cycle. So in the past, we had DeFi summer, for example, and then the explosion of NFTs. And that tends to rise all boats in this tide. And so when I think about the current market cycle, you're right, it is very Bitcoin dominant. And we haven't seen that kind of dark horse play out in Ethereum, in Solana, and other networks that really brings that kind of peak momentum we've seen in the past. However, when it comes to Bitcoin, one way to think about it, we are still about 20% below the all-time highs set in March. And nevertheless, since then, we've had $6 billion of new net inflows coming into the ETF. And so there is still momentum to be had when it comes to the ETFs themselves in terms of bringing in capital and flow into this industry. For example, you have ETFs launching in the UK, in Hong Kong. Recently in the last month and a half or so, some of the biggest wealth managers like Morgan Stanley and investment advisors are now just starting to get involved into this. So there's still room for growth in that respect. And then when it comes to these applications on other networks like Ethereum and whatnot, from my perspective, what's really interesting is that you've had this proliferation of layer 2 activity and whatnot that have really shrunk the cost of doing these kind of fast transactions, microtransactions, to the point where it enables a lot of new applications that you just couldn't perform in prior cycles. And so I'm also waiting for that kind of dark horse candidate that might come out. But nevertheless, I still think there's room to run with the Bitcoin cycles so far.
And what about the correlation with Bitcoin and Ether? If you look at the on-chain metrics for Ether, it's not looking good. I think a lot of investors are starting to question, if Ethereum is doing what it was supposed to do after the merge and after the Chapella upgrade. So it's definitely been lagging and underperforming. But do we just consider that correlated with Bitcoin and expect to see it kind of follow any significant price increases there? Or do you think that there's something on the more technical side that could sort of instigate some bigger movement and put some life back into ETH?
Sure. So
yes, I don't know if that's actually the Kraken trading platform or not. I think it might be. But yeah, dude, DJ just said Cass was coming to Kraken soon. Yeah, hopefully. They said by the end of the year. Perfect. We should be on a tier 1 exchange. Super excited about it.
Correlations with Bitcoin ETH is around 0.9. It's very high. And this is something...
See, I love the fact that Kraken has leverage trading, by the way.
That has been the case historically. You've typically seen
like
positive correlation 0.8 to 0.9. What you tend to see is also some decoupling events. So you had the Bitcoin ETF, which causes a decoupling where Bitcoin vastly outperforms. So that was the rumors that we had last year, going into the end of last year. Of course, during the summer, you had ETH start to outperform on the rumors and the approval of the Ethereum ETF. And I would say more recently, there has been a recoupling. So we have...
Wait, what? You do your leverage on Coinbase? That's not true. Is that true? That can't be true. They don't have leverage trading. If they do, I'm going to be very excited. I didn't know that. What?
A price correction in Ethereum, I think, reflecting some disappointment in the progress so far in the Ethereum ETF. But again, it's still early days for them too. And we've reset back to that historically very strong positive correlation. What's been interesting is in terms of correlations that all of these crypto assets, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, for example, are becoming increasingly correlated with other risk assets like US equity indices. And that's really a reflection of the fact that the macroeconomic environment and central banking policy is dominating the conversation on price action, at least for now.
Okay, one last thing before we go. Former FTX executive Ryan Salem returned to court this morning after waffling on his guilty plea. He's due to start a 7.5-year prison sentence next month. We'll have updates on what happened in court today in tomorrow's show. That's all.
Damn. All right, so you need... I had Coinbase Pro, though, at one point. They never had leverage trading on there. So what, you can do it now? I have to, like, apply for it or something? Is it called Coinbase Advanced? It says for professional traders? Is that what it is now? Weird. I didn't know that. That's crazy and interesting. Thank you very much for letting me know that. All set. I didn't even know you could do that. All right, let's get over here to the videos of the day. Anthony Pompliano, Bitcoin is stronger than stocks. So I don't know how much we're going to be able to listen to this, but we're going to do the best we can. And obviously there's another video of Altcoin Daily. I'm not going to watch this with you guys. I don't even know what this video is about, but it says Trump versus Camilla, huge crypto news. You guys go check it out. Links in the description if you want. Altcoin Daily, but I'm not going to have time. We're going to watch as much as we can of this, then we're going to get out of here. Let's do it.
All right, Phil, what's the first topic you got?
I want to start with this crazy stat that you wrote about this week. Bitcoin has now been available for trading for more total hours than stocks. And this
wow, that's neat.
Started in 1971 when Nixon moved the dollar off the gold standard, and that initiated what's called the fiat era for the economy and currencies. And right now, stocks have been trading for about 100,000 hours. And even though Bitcoin's only 15 years old, because it's 24/7 markets, it's been trading for 123,000 hours. What do you make of this?
So it's really interesting. Like, first of all, before anyone goes and says, oh no, the stock market's been trading for longer than since 1971, of course. But in the fiat era, as you pointed out, since 1971 and the Nixon shock, the stock market has only been open in terms of hours of operations during the week. I always like to point out that the stock market is actually closed more hours a week than it is open. So they got your money and you can't access it more than what they will allow. Those hours of operations prevent you. And so then if you go and you look at Bitcoin, it trades 24/7, 365. Now, one of the advantages is that there's stuff that happens geopolitically or in the economy all the time. Maybe it happens early in the morning. Maybe it happens late at night. Maybe it happens on the weekend. Bitcoin is always trading. And so you can always access your money. You can always buy or sell whenever you want to. But this idea of cumulative trading hours really is, well, how much is the robustness of the system? How much has the system been tested? And if you think about this idea of Bitcoin, although in terms of years as a measurement, it's actually younger than the fiat stock market. If you measure it by hours of operations in which it has been open, Bitcoin is older than the fiat stock market. And so what that tells you is that Bitcoin has been tested more than a fiat stock market, which would suggest that Bitcoin is more robust. It also would suggest that actually Bitcoin has more data points. And it also would suggest, because of the global accessibility, which the stock market does not have to the same degree of Bitcoin, that more people are able to use Bitcoin, more people are able to access it based on the measurement of time, and there is the ability to respond to anything that happens in the world at any time, any place. And so when you put those things together, Bitcoin is probably the only true free market global asset. And in a world where investors are becoming more and more kind of aware of these different global events, you need to have an asset that trades 24/7, 365, available to anyone, anywhere, and also is sensitive to these global events. And so if you look at the stock market, the US stock market may not actually move depending on what happens in the Philippines or in a South American country, or maybe in a random country in Europe. Right? Because the US stock market is focused on the United States. But Bitcoin moves based on a lot of these different global events. And so when all of a sudden we saw Iran shoot rockets at Israel, Bitcoin was very volatile. The stock market was closed. And so if you're an investor sitting at home and you're watching the news and you see that this geopolitical event is playing out, how do you express that in the financial markets? How do you protect yourself? Forget how do you make money. How do you protect your portfolio? The world changed and you can't change your portfolio. With Bitcoin, that's never a problem. You always have access to the market, and therefore Bitcoin is actually older in terms of time that you could trade it than the fiat stock market.
That's crazy.
Do you think that I think your take is correct in your analysis, but I think it's reserved for some more sophisticated investors, because I'm not sure how many investors are trying to express their view on a global event through their investments. And also I wonder how much volume of inflows has the stock market seen in the last 50 years versus Bitcoin in the last 15 years, even though maybe the accumulated hours of trading are more in favor of Bitcoin? Do you have any insight on that?
So I think that looking at the extreme tells you about kind of the everyday situation. And so, yes, of course, there are only a certain amount of traders or kind of sophisticated financial folks who are going to change their portfolio based on something that's happening somewhere else in the world.
Rude Puts, thank you so much for the 249 euro. He said that guy looks like DJ Mines.
Perfect.
It kind of does.
But the market should not determine who has access. The people,
but of course, DJ's more handsome. Of course,
people should determine whether they want to trade or not. And so what ends up happening in the stock market is they prevent you from trading. If you are sophisticated or not, whether you want to trade or you don't have the ability more hours a week than when it is open. And so what Bitcoin does is it simply says, hey, we're open for business all the time. You can sit on your hands or you can act. It's up to you. We're offloading that responsibility to you to make decisions about your own portfolio. Whereas if you really think about the stock market, it's a gated market. It's only available to you when the big finance bosses say that you can trade.
Uh-oh, what happened? Did Andrew Messiah get nuked? Oh, you unnuked him. All right, cool. Thank you. I thought you removed him from the channel. All his previous stuff is deleted. All set. Fat fingered you.
They're the gatekeepers. And so again, I understand why they do it, right? It used to be very human driven. People want to go home. They want to go to their families. They need to sleep, all these different things. But now we live in a world that should be more global, that should be more technology enabled. And so I do actually think that the stock market eventually will open up to 24/7, 365. A lot of people don't like to talk about this, but the US stock market has an immense amount of overnight trading. And if you look at the financial returns, the returns of stock movements overnight versus during the normal hours of operation, overnight returns have destroyed during the day returns. And so it's actually been more profitable to simply trade overnight. The problem is that most retail investors or self-directed investors, they don't know how to do that. And so the strategy that they have employed if they wanted to try to exploit this is they would basically buy stocks at the close and then they would sell in the morning. And so that worked for a while. But now with all the volatility and kind of all the funny business that goes on in terms of overnight trading, that actually hasn't worked over the last 2 to 3 months. And so it's this weird thing of you have people trying to hack the system. They're saying, I want exposure to the overnight market. It's not available to me in a kind of a normal trading environment. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go long right before the market closes. I'm going to sell when the market opens. But even in that scenario, you're only holding for 12 hours, 16 hours, right? It's not that long. But still you don't have access to the market. So if you buy right before 4 o'clock and all of a sudden something happens at midnight, you got to wait 8 more hours, 9 more hours, 10 more hours, right? Depending on exactly when the event occurs. And so that is a problem that can be solved. Just open the market. Let people trade whenever they want to trade and figure out the technology component. That's a you problem, not an investor problem. Give people access to financial markets.
And that access is, of course, what makes Bitcoin attractive right now and other cryptocurrencies. But I think, and you've talked about this a lot, the Bitcoin play is a big play on currency debasement, but I think that is not so easy to understand. Could you talk about that a bit?
I think stocks are a play on currency debasement as well.
Okay.
Some stocks go up more than others, but overall, the stock market has the same driver as what Bitcoin is. The dollar is being devalued. Structurally, it does not matter what anyone says, does not matter what any politician says. They have to devalue the currency because we have to monetize the debt. And so in that scenario, any asset that is denominated in dollars is going to go up over the long run. And so stocks will go up generally. Bitcoin is going to go up generally. Real estate generally. Now, can you go buy a bad piece of real estate and you bought it and it was overpriced and it goes down for 10 years? Of course. The same thing can happen in the stock market. You could buy, let's say, for example, if you bought the all-time high of Bitcoin back in 2021, today you're down. But it went back.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not really so worried about buying property and stuff with, as like the value situation, right? I would be more worried about the people that decide not to pay rent and you can't kick them out. Because that's the bullshit that you got to deal with if you're buying property. It's trying to get people to pay rent, and then if they don't pay rent and they don't want to leave, the courts make you leave them in there for like up to a year for free. Like, it's insane. Like, what do you mean for free? Nobody lives for free. Like, I don't get it. You should be able to rip them out of their house. It's crazy.
Back to a new all-time high, and then it came back down, right? So like market timing stuff obviously still plays into this, but the important part is that if you take the US stock market and you don't denominate it in dollars, you denominate it in gold, it's basically flat since 1971. And so what that tells you is most of the growth when you denominate the stock market in dollar terms is not because of growth in the stock market. In terms of the companies, most of the growth is being driven by the devaluation of the currency. There's a reason why the
stock market total return over 100 years. That's actually insane.
Stock market goes up and to the right at a 45-degree angle. How is it so perfect?
Damn.
It's because it's about the currency debasement, not actually what the companies are doing in terms of the overall market and its return that it drives every year.
That actually makes total sense. He's a really smart guy. It's crazy.
That is very interesting, and I think for a business owner would be hard to stomach, because if they're focused so much on quarterly earnings and improving profits and margins, and then you're saying it's just currency debasement across the board for markets.
Well, so there's a paradox here, right? Which is interesting. If you own a business, you got to pay attention to what your revenue is, what your profits are, your margins, your expenses, all those things, because ultimately that is going to drive the value of your individual business, right? As a business owner. But as an investor, especially investors who are not going to take single name stock risk, and they're going to say, hey, I'm just going to buy the index. The indexes definitely are driven by that currency devaluation. And so, yes, depending on who you are in the market, depends on how much does an individual company performance versus the overall kind of currency debasement story. But I believe, and I've talked about this extensively, that historical valuations of stocks are important, but they are losing some importance, or they are becoming less reliable, because today, given higher degrees of inflation, there's a subset of people who are putting their money into stocks to hide from inflation. Look at the stock market when inflation exploded. The stock market exploded. And so if now stocks serve as an inflation hedge, then you have to say, what is this company worth? What is this stock worth? And then I need to put a monetary premium on top of it. And so that monetary premium could be 1%, or it could be like 7 or 8%. But when you start to look at what is the value of this company, it's higher than the historical norms because of the monetary premium and this inflation hedge now that stocks have become, given the higher inflation that we're experiencing.
That's crazy. All right, listen, I don't want to have to stop this, but I do, because I got to get the kids to school and stuff. But if you guys want to finish watching this, I'm going to throw this in the live chat. Also, I do have it in the description below, but that's Anthony Pompliano's podcast with, I don't even know this guy's name, I forget. But anyways, all right, let's get into, again, recap segment of things for anybody that is just joining. Bitcoin, 57,980 bucks. We got Ethereum at 23.57. Solana's at 132 bucks. Again, huge Hadouken to my man, Mr. Dan R. Thank you for the Solana. You're awesome. The 2 Solana, actually. Crazy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have, again, Pol is up today. His Polygon, 40 cents, 7.3%. Let's see. We got LTC, 63 bucks. We got Caspa at 16.5 cents, just about a little bit over 16.5. XRP at 56 cents. You know what? To be honest, I think I'm going to swap all my XRP into Caspa. Because XRP, I'm telling you, it's like a freaking soft porn. It gets you all excited, and then it just fails every single time. Gets you excited for nothing. It's like every single time. I don't care. Every news article, anything about it, it's just always, it just sucks. It really just sucks. So I'm just not into it. ETC, $18 over here. We have ICP at $8.19. Near Protocol is at $4.15. Yeah, nothing really jumping out at me anymore than Polygon over there. Crypto bubbles, holy shit. CKB almost just punched us in the face. You guys just see that? 56% up today. That one's definitely jumping out at me. It's at $0.015. Crazy. Nervos jumped right in. It jumped up 34 ranks to 99th place. God damn. That is insane. That is insane. Nervos Network. If anybody's mining that, get on it. Let me see. None of this changes yet, right? Yeah, they didn't change any of that. God damn. That's crazy. CKB. There we go. Man. 50% up today. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, if you guys yeah, let me know if you guys have getting any profits from that. If anybody's got a CKB miner or whatever, if you guys are into CKB, that's awesome. All right, flashbang, we got 32 on the fear and greed index. Again, we're in the fear. You guys, this is what we want. We want a slow climb up to the middle, and hopefully we float around there, right? But September is always really bad for crypto, so I guess we're gonna have to see what happens. But anyways, guys, listen, love you all. You're all fantastic. I appreciate you all. Hopefully you guys have a happy and safe Friday. I do gotta get out of here. I'm gonna leave you guys with this because it is Friday. You guys know the drill. Until next time, peace out and have a good day. Appreciate you all. Let's do it. Have a happy and safe Friday, Rondi. I couldn't leave without saying thank you personally. Thank you very much. And Dan R, everybody else that donated, you guys didn't have to do that. I appreciate it a lot. Have a great, happy, and safe Friday. I'll catch you guys tomorrow evening, actually, for Mr. Mining Saturday Night Live. Peace out and have a good day, guys. Oh, and don't forget,
if she don't hawk to her, we don't talk to her.
I love titties.